How do self-interested people respond to incentives? Well, there's an example of Homer responding to incentive. He's trying to follow the donut to consume it. Self-interested people respond predictably to changes in the cost and benefit of a choice. When the cost rises, they'll make the choice less often. When the benefit falls, they'll make the choice less often. On the other hand, when the cost decreases or the benefit increases, they'll make the choice more often. This implies, for example, that people purchase less gasoline as the price of gasoline increases, and that students attend class more often when an instructor gives fantastic lectures. In these examples, we assume, of course, that nothing else changes that affects how much gasoline people want, and nothing else changes that affects how often students want to come to class. Now, a self-interested person can determine whether to increase or to decrease the amount of something by comparing the extra cost of a small change with the extra benefit. Comparing the extra cost and extra benefit of small changes is called analysis at the margin. Let's give you an example. Should you study economics for another hour today? The relevant cost is what you give up by having one less hour to do other things, and the relevant benefit is what you gain by studying one more hour. If the extra benefit of studying one more hour is greater than the cost you bear from giving up one more hour of other things, it's rational. It would be in your self-interest to study an additional hour, and you should keep studying additional hours as long as the extra benefit is greater than the cost that you bear. Let's talk about repairing your car before selling. You've got to decide whether to repair it or you can sell it as is. If the extra value that you can obtain from the car when you sell it is greater than the cost of the repair, it makes sense to repair the car. On the other hand, if the repair costs you $500 and it increases your market value by only $300, it does not make sense to repair the car. Now remember that less is not the same as zero, and more is not the same as infinity. Many students seem to think in terms of either or. For example, they might say that people are not responding to incentives properly when someone continues to smoke after the price of cigarettes goes up. Well, the theory does not say that quantity goes down to zero or the quantity would increase to infinity. All the theory says is the quantity will increase or decrease. When the price of cigarettes goes up, we expect to see the quantity of cigarettes purchased to decrease, but we're not saying the quantity's got to fall to zero. People generally act as predicted. Here are two examples. Incentives matter even when the good is addictive. Higher cigarette prices leads to more smokers quitting. It reduces rates of smoking, and the number of cigarettes sold by tobacco companies also falls. What happens when baggage fees goes up? People respond predictably. They check fewer bags. They carry on more bags, and they compete to be first on the plane to find good storage for carry-on bags. The Notes has an article from the Wall Street Journal that discusses how people have responded to baggage fees.